Good morning. This is Tom Remington. Welcome to an episode of Open Air with Tom Remington. I'm glad you could sit in. You know, I get really kind of tired of everybody, and I know I'll get chastised for this because they're unkind words and all of that, but I really get kind of tired of people, going on about, wow, what an intelligent person President Obama is. And a long time ago, I came to the conclusion that I don't really think he's that intelligent. I think he's smart enough. He's just smart enough so that the people that he can keep following him are stupider than he is and obviously are blind. And, a lot of people today, they rush to defend our democracy. Unfortunately, seldom do people realize that the country wasn't really founded to be a democracy, and the socialistic kind of democracy that we live in now. One of the problems with it is that it really kind of disregards our Constitution, although they like to hide behind the idea that they think that that they don't. And I was listening to Attorney General Eric Holder this weekend on TV, and he was making reference about how we need to probably take a look at and change the public safety issue when it comes to Mirandizing suspects for terrorism, that sort of stuff. And his comment was, and of course we need Congress to look at this to make sure that the changes we make are well within the Constitution of the United States. Well, which one? Is that the present one, which has been so destroyed and made into something it was never intended to be, or the original Constitution? But anyway, I don't want to get off on the subject, but Obama this weekend, he was speaking at a commencement address at, where was he? In Virginia at Hampton University, when he began criticizing the world of technology that we're in and how it's terrible, and it's a threat to our. I don't want to say he didn't say it was a threat. It's putting pressures on our country and on our democracy. So he's referring back to a democracy because he knows that his followers think they live in his kind of a democracy. And his kind of a democracy, of course, isn't a democracy at all. What he's interested in doing is making sure that you follow him and everything he does. And his little tactics that he has been using ever since he took office is to find ways of isolating and demonizing anything or anybody that would stand in opposition to him. And he realizes that this modern technology media sources that we have in this country are a threat to him because information travels fast, and this is one place so far where conservatives can go and present facts and keep people informed as to what the real truth is. And because he owns the other side of the media, the TV network news and most newspapers around the country and that sort of stuff. So, of course, he wants to now demonize our technology, but he's an idiot in doing so. And you can take the things that he says, and only a stupid person would take them for what he said and as being true and believe them. And I'll just kind of read a couple of examples here of what he said at his speech. He first talks about how education is the answer for everything. Well, yes, his education is, because it's not education, it's indoctrination. And he wants to make sure that everybody goes to his kind of education institutions where they can get indoctrinated into the garbage that we've been feeding our kids for decades now. But he addresses the commencement gathering, and he says, you're coming into an age of a 24/7 media environment that bombards us with all kinds of content and exposes us to all kinds of arguments. Great, isn't that good? I mean, that's what we need, right? And some of which don't always rank at that, excuse me, some of which don't always rank all that high in the truth meter. So immediately he's letting his people know that people who are involved in this 24/7 thing, that they're not honest people. And then he goes on to say, with iPods and iPads and Xboxes and PlayStations, none of which he knows how to work. That's what he said. Information becomes a distraction. Oh, it's a diversion, a form of entertainment rather than a tool of empowerment. Really? Huh. Interesting, isn't it? And he also says, rather than a means of emancipation. Notice I slid that word in there. Emancipation, which most people associate it with the end of slavery. But you notice what he's saying about, this media technology. He paints it into a description of all being bad, and then he goes on to talk about, well, all of those or many of those 24/7 media sources lie. And he also, it's also mentioned here talking about radio talk outlets. See, these are his enemy. He wants to silence them in any way that he can, because many of these people speak in opposition to his indoctrination, his Marxist tendencies, his systematic approach toward gaining control of everything and everybody and stealing away your rights. And he says all of this is not only putting new pressures on you, meaning the graduates, it's putting new pressures on our country and on our democracy. But what he means there is just what I said. He doesn't want these people, messing up his plans on how he's going to take over and control. But here's a key thing. And like I said, stupid people will listen to this and they'll think, oh, that's wonderful. Oh, yeah, this is really wonderful. Oh, it's like, yeah, I think that's good. Yeah. No, I don't want to see anything else. But this is the one that really gets me. He says, we can't stop these changes, but we can adapt to them. Education can fortify you as it did earlier generations to meet the tests of your time. What in the hell does he think happened that created this technology? Did it come up from underneath a cabbage or something? No, it was education, taught people to create this technology that we're all a part of. But he doesn't want you to take that information that's available and disseminate it and figure out for yourself, as an independent, free person would do, how to use it and how it would benefit you as a free American. He don't want that. He wants you to now listen to him and only what he says, only what he wants to make available to you in the media. He don't want you to disseminate between opposing views on anything. And he's even gone to the point of saying that if you get an education, you don't need this technology information. How can anybody be so stupid? Obviously, this guy is. It's amazing. Anyway, that's my rant. I got to run, and we'll see you next time on Open Air.